What is up, guys? This is Aphix and welcome back to my Unreal Engine C++ tutorial series. I know it's been a while. I've been really busy in the past week and few weeks, so I've been unable to make a video, but now I am back, so let's get right into it. So last video I remember promising that I would teach you properties, the macros and stuff, so let's go into doing that right now. First, let's go into the Unreal editor and go over to the C++ classes, open up the folder public, right click and click new C++ class. Now let's just create an actor to place in our scene. So actor, click next, and you could just name it test actor, and then click create class. Note that this may take a while, especially if you have a lot of code already in your project. So let's give it the wait, and I'll see you back when it's done. Alright, so I am getting the error message that test actor was added, but I have to reload the module, and I will open the output log just to see what's wrong. And oh, so this is an error with writer. This is my problem. So yeah. Let me fix this really quick and I will be right back. Alright guys, I am back. So I will go to my Visual Studio and then open up that new file we just created, the new class test actor. And to start, let's add on a few components to it just to kind of get the feel. So we don't need tick, so we could delete this whole bottom section. And we could get rid of these comments too. At least I will. You guys can keep them in just in case it helps you out. Then you could go to the C++, delete that tick function. You can get rid of the comments, you don't have to. And you see here, this B can ever tick is actually just an attribute that makes it so an actor can tick or not, which basically means like they could run on every frame and call that tick function. Since we deleted the tick function, we don't need this. Then we can get rid of that part. Alright, and then save your files. And let's just add a static mesh component. So class u static mesh component, and you have to make that a pointer, and we'll just call it mesh comp. And then let's go into testactor.cpp and do this. Mesh comp equals create default subobject, and it's a template function, so you have to do use static mesh component, and in the parentheses you could just put the name. I'm just gonna call it mesh comp, semicolon. This is a very commonly used function. It basically just creates the default object of a certain class, and in this case that class is the useStatic mesh component, and we are giving it the name mesh comp in the editor. So over here we have to include, since we had to forward declare the static mesh component, we have to do hashtag include, and in the quotations we have to do components slash static mesh component dot h. Now let's go into the editor and click compile, and we'll give it a few seconds to put everything together. So once that is finished compiling, let us create a blueprint subclass of the class we just created. So right click blueprint class, and let's just call it, or get the test actor class and select it, and let's call it bp underscore test actor. Now we will double click on it to open it up. Click Ctrl Shift S to save all files. Dad, I'm recording something right now, just saying. And here is the mesh component we created, and you see how it's called mesh comp. You might think it's just because that's what we named the variable, but it's actually because that is the parameter we passed into the create default subobject function. And this is called the constructor, so it is created right when you create the subobject. Another thing to note is that if you remember, in our character class, our player pawn, the mesh here can actually be moved around, but in the BP test actor it cannot be moved around. You can see there's no arrow showing up or anything like that. So to make it movable, we will have to mark it with something called a macro. So here above where we declare the variable, we will have to do something uProperty, and notice all caps, which is kind of indicative of a macro, and we'll put in edit defaults only. What this lets us do is it lets us edit this in the editor. One of the key things, you probably can't even move the mesh component after we will mark it as edit defaults only because of root component shenanigans. But you can see here when we click on mesh comp, nothing appears in details, but in BP player pawn, if we click on mesh, there are a bunch of details, like different variables that you can change. So once we add edit default only, or edit defaults only, I forgot the S after default, this will allow us to edit it in the details panel. Also note, you can give everything a category with uProperty, so comma, and you can do category equals, and it's always a string, or it's generally a string. So I'll just put in something so we know it's working. So like underscore test actor underscore. And then you can also do things with meta. I'm not going to go into that this tutorial. There's also things, for instance, like blueprint read only. So if you go here into the editor and you go to player pawn and go to the event graph, note that you can drag in the mesh component and it actually gets it in blueprint, but you can't set it in blueprint. So what we do here is we can do blueprint read only, and that just makes it so we can't change it in blueprints, but we could call functions on in blueprints and pass it into functions. So click Control S to save. And you might be wondering, like, what is uProperty? Why don't you need a semicolon after it? And it's kind of like, it's a macro that the Unreal Engine header tool expands, and actually this turns into a bundle of code that's just like exposing it to blueprints, stuff like that. So if you go back to the editor and click compile and make sure everything is saved everywhere. I messed with player pawn and I don't think I changed anything, so I'll just compile it. Control Shift S to save, and let's wait. Alright, so when the compile is complete, let's open up our test actor once again and go to mesh component, and you can see we can edit it here. If we go into the event graph and drag in mesh comp, we can actually get it. So that is the importance of macros in Unreal Engine. They allow you to communicate helpfully with blueprints, between blueprints and C++. You can actually call C++ functions from blueprint, and you can do that like in UI, for instance, and it'll just make your game quicker. I feel like blueprints is a little harder to organize than C++, so I usually go to C++. Also, blueprints has its limits, and it's also much slower than C++. So if you go into the event graph, I also promised that I would teach stuff about the event graph here. So in blueprints, this is the event graph. All these events are basically void functions. Then you have like familiar events like event tick, begin play. We haven't covered event begin overlap, but it is pretty self-explanatory. So tick is called every frame, begin play. Okay, so you see how they're kind of grayed out? That actually means that they are not active currently. So it's as if these functions were never here and they don't have declarations or anything. So it's basically calling the parent function. And note that every actor that we make is a subclass of the actor parent class. So we inherit these methods. Here is the function graph. You're probably just like, what's the difference between event graph and function graph? Like, what are the difference between events and functions? Well, events are just functions that are void. So events never return any values while functions do. You can also collapse things to macros. It's kind of like a bundle of code that you'd call many times. And don't get these confused with something like uProperty. This is pretty much this is like a completely different category of thing. So yeah, and then here are the variables. So we actually coded a variable in C++ today, and it's this mesh comp. That's our variable. And if we were to add it, like add a variable here, we just click plus, and like if you want to do like b is true, then it creates a Boolean variable called b is true. And then you can like set it. So a little shortcut is alt click and drag to set, and control click and drag. And this is what I mean by you can't set the mesh comp. You can't like drag it in and set it to anything else, which is what we want. So another thing, the U property equivalent of a function would be U function. So U function, and we can do blueprint callable functions. We can also do blueprint implementable functions. Let me get that here. Blueprint implementable event. And you can also give them categories. I'm not going to do that for the purpose of this tutorial, but you may to organize your code. So let's just call this void test func blueprint callable, BP callable. And then for this one, let's just call it void test func BP implement. And here we have to declare the function before we can actually call it. So Control C to copy, and under begin play, let's paste that and just add in a test character or actor, double semicolon scope resolution, and add the brackets to the end of that. And let's just do a simple UE log. So UE log is a macro that allows you to print something to the log. So here we'll do log temp warning. Warning will make it yellow. And we will do text, and you have to use this text macro to create text, and we'll do test func called, and then end that with a semicolon. Then after that, let's call this test func BP implement. So copy that and add that to the end of BP callable. Control S to save, remember the semicolon there. Then go back to UE4 and click compile. After the compilation is complete, you will have to go back to the BP test actor and right click. Let's do test func BP implement. And look, you could actually declare the event as if it's an event in the event graph. And for this one, let's just do print log or print string. And we'll just do BP implement test func called. Now, none of this is actually going to happen yet, so we have to drag in this BP test actor to our scene. And in test actor for tick, let's just call the test func BP callable, and then click compile and save it all. Click play, and you will note, I remember I did the field of view interpolation from last video, but you will see on the left side of the screen here, you'll see that it is calling the BP implemented function, and it's also calling test func. So it's from test function, it's calling this BP implemented function. So that's the way that you kind of mesh together blueprints and C++ to get ideal results. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it helped. And next video, I'm not sure what we'll be getting into. It'll also be really helpful. I still have to think about that. So stay tuned. Please subscribe and like, and I will see you in the next episode.